What up, my beautiful tubers? Helldivers 2 patch notes 1.0.0.300 makes big balances, changes to weapons, stratagems, and enemies. More on that after the intro. Greetings, Helldivers. There's so much to go over in this new update that we had, the update 0.1.0.0.300. And let's start off with the balances. We got a balance to our armor. Any armor above 100 now also reduces damage to headshots, so that's pretty good. And also the burn damage. The burn damage got reduced from 15% all across the board, so that's pretty good. Let's go straight into the weapon patch notes because this is what we have a lot to talk about. Starting with the explosive crossbow, it has a slightly smaller explosion, increased stagger, decreased number of maximum mags from 12 to 8, increased number of magazines received from supply from 6 to 8, slightly reduction to ergonomics, and muzzle velocity increased. So this had a huge weapon adjustment in general. The Quasar Cannon increased recharge time by 5 seconds, so get a little bit of a nerf there, not too much. The next weapon we're going to be going over is the BR-14 Adjudicator. Full auto is now the default fire mode. Reduced recoil, increased maximum mags from 6 to 8, increased number of magazines received from supplies from 6 to 8, and now placed amongst assault rifles. So this actually got a huge buff, and I'm going to see a lot more people using this thing for sure, which is kind of what it needed. I was using this until I came across the explosive rifles and fell in love with them, but I think the Adjudicator is now going to definitely be meta, so be on the lookout for that. Next weapon we're going to be talking about is the laser cannon. The laser cannon got a slightly increased damage and slightly reduced damage versus large volume bodies. So I guess when you're doing a one-on-one, it does more damage, and then when you're doing against a number of enemies, it does less damage pretty much. The Punisher Plasma, I've never used this gun, so I'm excited to test it out in the new update. Decrease maximum mags from 12 to 8. Increased amount of magazines received from supplies from 6 to 8. Increased projectile speed, but will still keep a smaller range. Decreased damage fall off on the explosives, and now placed in the energy weapons category. So as you can see, it's in the energy weapons category. So a lot of adjustments made there in the game and also in the menu screen as well. So just be on the lookout for that. Same thing with the ARC Blitzer. The ARC 12 Blitzer is now going to be in this category as well. And the only thing with the ARC Blitzer that got was the increased shots per minute from 30 to 45. So this got a little bit of a buff. I don't see too many people using this gun. I don't know if this increased shots per minute from 30 to 45 is going to make it more viable, but we shall see. We're going to go to a lot of weapon testings after this video, so be on the lookout for that. The Eruptor, one of my favorite guns, got a nerf. Decreased number of magazines from 12 to 6, and explosion damage drops off slightly faster, which is kind of a drag. I thought that number of mags, the 12, was perfect for it because you only get 5 shots, and now with you holding 6 mags, you're going to have to hit that supply depot a lot more often. It feels like we're going to have to drop a lot more supplies after this update for sure. Let's go into the sickle. The sickle is what I'm talking about. We're going to have to hit these supply things more because decrease the amount of magazines from 6 down to 3. And if you use this gun a lot, it's gonna be a pain in the ass because you're gonna have to keep on reloading, keep on calling in supplies because you needed all 6 of those magazines. Now you're only going to 3. Oh man, talk about a big nerf there. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm a little sad about that. The Sith got a bit of a buff, increased damage from 300 to 350, and the decrease max number of mags from 6 to 4. So it got it balanced. The damage is where it was at. I think it did need a little bit of a buff towards damage, but when you take away the mags, it's crazy. I don't like how they're balancing the weapons by giving us less magazines to carry. I don't think that's a good option. but we could always just call in more supplies if we need to. The railgun increased armor penetration in both safe mode and unsafe mode, and the stagger force slightly reduced. So whenever you hit an enemy, specifically a more armored one, they kind of stagger. It's going to be reduced a little bit, and it's a good thing that we got the penetration mode for the safe and unsafe mode. The heavy machine gun now has a third-person crosshair enabled. So if you like using this gun, you can now use it in third person with the crosshairs enabled, which is kind of cool. Definitely spread democracy a little bit better for sure. The Diligence Counter Sniper got a little bit of a buff. It got a damage increase from 128 to 140, and the ergonomics improved. So it just, the way this weapon feels is going to feel a lot better and smoother. And of course, the damage now increased from 128 to 140. So pretty cool. I like it. I'm definitely going to use it for sure. And then the regular Diligence got a little bit of a buff too, because you can't have one without the other. This guy got a damage increase from 112 to 125. So these snipers are definitely going to hit a little bit harder and might be a little bit more valuable from taking out bugs from a long range. So we'll see. We're going to stress test all these. Going into our secondary, all the secondaries had adjustment. Starting off with my favorite, the Redeemer. The Redeemer has a slight increase in recoil. So if you struggled with that, you're definitely going to struggle more with the recoil. The Peacemaker, don't know if anyone was using this one, but it has a increased damage from 60 to 75, so it got a buff. So if you're not using it, it might be more an option. I don't think you will, though. The Senator got a big adjustment, increased damage from 150 to 175. A speed reloader added when reloading on an empty mag is now option too. So if you get that speed reloader on an empty mag, that's fucking badass. I actually like that a lot, and it's gonna make it way more viable. It's all about speed, I think, in my opinion. That's what this game is all about. For a Helldiver. We got a Liberator, got a buff. Damage increase from 55 to 60. This is the first time the gun's got any love since the game started, so I'm so glad to see. The Liberator Concussive got a buff too. Damage increase from 55 to 65. So that is awesome. I'm so glad to see these assault rifles get some love. It's definitely what we need, more options. We just need more options that are viable. The Dominator, excuse me, damage decreased from 300 to 275. I think I did not need this. It struggled with damage. I think it needed a buff, in my opinion. The Guard Dog Rover got a nerf. Damage decreased by 30%. So if you're a fan of this thing, it got a huge nerf, which is unfortunate because I love using this thing, especially as a solo. It comes in, but that's okay because you could just switch over to the Guard Dog. The Guard Dog got a slight increase in damage, especially if you use a stratagem. It's going to make the health last a lot longer. So that's pretty cool. I'll just switch over to the Guard Dog, no problem. The Tesla Tower got increased health by 33%. So if you're going in and defending some of your bases or any of those missions, Tesla Tower is going to be a good option because it's now got a buff by 33%. The Spear added a reload stage. So there's a reload stage after the spent missile has been discarded. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it looks with the additional reload stage with the, I don't know if it's going to help it or make it worse. The Airburst rocket launcher we just got a little bit of adjustment. The Airburst rocket launcher will no longer detonate when shot near stratagems, HMG turrets, sentries, resupplies, and other Helldivers, and the reduced proximity radius. This is a big one because this gun sucks. I was stress testing it. I'm actually going to make a video on this probably sometime tomorrow, hopefully. Let's talk about the enemies that got touched though too, because the bow spewers, the nursing spewers, move speed slightly reduced, so that's super good. They're not going to be coming at you so fast. They're going to be reduced slightly. The Hulks require the Hulks. Excuse me, the Hulk Scorch, the flamethrower damage reduced by 20%. So that is awesome. It got a reduce there, and it's also gonna stagger slightly increased. So they're just adjusting it with there too. Some of the Devastators got adjustment. The Devastator has a higher fire rates, and now these Scout Striders are gonna be now less vulnerable to explosives. So take that in consideration if you're going to be using explosives to the Scout Striders. I guess that means grenades and all the other explosive weapons. And the fire damage got reduced. This also means environment fire damage too, so be on the lookout for that. I was getting torn and mangled with all the fire damage, so I'm so glad that they reduced that. And there's so much more to go over. Those are just the patch weapons, the weapon patch notes that I wanted to go over. The next video that we're going to be doing is all the gameplay stuff, all the environments, everything that we didn't go over in this video. So I hope you guys have a great day, a great month, and a great year. My name's Sincere, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.